Started.
Om Yo Brahmanam Vidadhati Purvam Yo Vai Vedamscha Prahinoti Tasmai Tam Hadevam Atmabuddhi Prakasham Mumukshurvai Sharanamaham Prapadye Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityor Ma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurave Sarva Lokanam Bhishaje Bhavaroginam Nidhaye Sarva Vidyanam Sri Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. So last week we stopped at 377. I think we finished that shloka. There is nothing left if I am correct. Yeah, or should we cover something which was left uncovered last week?
No, Devanji.
Yeah,
it was clear.
Okay. So we can go to 378. Yeah,
Yes.
378. I'll read and you can repeat after me. Lakshye Brahmani Manasam
Lakshe Brahmani Manasam
Dridhataram
Dridhataram
Samsthapya Bahyendriyam
Samsthapya Bahyendriyam
Swasthane Viniveshya
Swasthane Viniveshya
Nischalatanuhu
Nischalatanuhu
Chopekshya Dehasthitim
Chopekshya Dehasthitim
Brahmatmaikya
Brahmatmaikya Upetya
Tanmayataya
Tanmayataya
Chakhanda Vrityanisham
Chakhanda Vrityanisham
Brahmananda Rasam
Brahmananda Rasam
Pibatmani Muda
Pibatmani Muda
Shunyaihi Kimanyaihi Bhrisham.
Shunyaihi Kimanyaihi Bhrisham.
Lakshye Brahmani Manasam Dridhataram Samthapya Bahyendriyam Swasthane Viniveshya Nischalatanus Chopekshya Dehasthitim Brahmatmaikyam Upetya Tanmayataya Chakhanda Vrityanisham Brahmanandarasam Pibatmani Muda Shunyaihi Kimanyaihi Bhrisham. That was 378. So until 377, the Acharya had taken a short detour to emphasize the significance and importance of Vairagyam as a supporting quality for a successful Nididhyasanam. Now he is returning back to the main topic of Nididhyasanam through the what is that? Samadhi Abhyasa. Yeah. What Samadhi? Nirvikalpa Samadhi Abhyasa. Yeah. Nirvikalpa Samadhi Abhyasa topic is now being brought back. And this shloka is a kind of a step-by-step guidance on how one conducts this meditation by itself. You know, this is actually a parallel to the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. In the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Dhyana Yoga, the entire chapter more or less deals with the topic of Vedantic meditation. And there Krishna actually describes a lot of preparatory sadhanas. No, in that context only we saw the Yama, Niyama and all that Ashtanga Yoga steps. Okay. So what is called Bahiranga Sadhana and Antaranga Sadhana. So Yama and Niyama are supposed to be Bahiranga Sadhana, which is a general preparation for yogic life. And then the Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi, those steps are all the Antaranga sadhana, which is the immediate preparation for the meditation, and then the actual meditation and so on. So this shloka is kind of paraphrasing those ideas and in a simplified language, giving us in a very logical step-by-step description. So the first line, Lakshye Brahmani Manasam Dridhataram Samsthapya. Manasam Samsthapya, that means fix your mind. Fix your mind on what? Lakshye. Lakshyam here is Dhyayam, that is the object of meditation, which is Brahmani, the Brahman nature of oneself. So one has to fix the mind on Brahman means what? The mind is anyway fixed in Brahman all the time, because Brahman is all pervading, and so all minds are anyway fixed in Brahman. So what does Acharya mean by saying fix the mind in Brahman? It means that your mind should entertain thoughts related to Brahman. That's what it means. Whenever we say fix your mind on some particular topic, that means, it doesn't mean physically plucking your mind and putting it somewhere. No, it simply means that the mind starts thinking about that particular subject or topic and entertains thoughts around that topic, surrounding or particular to that topic. So here the Acharya wants you to focus your mind and entertain thoughts which are specific to Brahman. Brahman, so what is it? Brahman is Purnam. Brahman is Satyam. Brahman is Anantam. Brahman is Muktam. And importantly, it is not like there is some Brahman somewhere which is Nityam, Shuddham, Muktam and all that. That Brahman is none other than myself. My true nature is Brahman. That is the Upanishadic teaching which one has to recollect and actively keep in the mind. Okay, so that is the first line. Okay, and Bahyendriyam Swasthane Viniveshya. Bahyendriyam is just our Indriyas, because the Indriyas, the sense organs, have a tendency to go outward. The sense organs have, by nature, they are designed to be extroverted. That is why they are called Bahyendriyam. So you have to bring them to their respective Golakas. Swasthane means to the respective Golakas. And I hope you remember what is the difference between Indriyam and Golakam. The Golakam is the physical locus of the Indriyam, which is part of the Sukshma Shariram. So the physical eye is the Golakam for the Chakshu Indriyam. The power of seeing is the Indriyam itself. Similarly, the physical ear, and with all the other bones and cochlea and drum and all that, that is the Golakam. But the power to hear is the Indriyam. So all your Indriyams have to be kept in their respective Golakams. That means what? They should not be roaming around, looking here and there and getting distracted. They have to be focused internally. Make sure that your eyes are closed. Make sure you sit in meditation in a silent room or in a silent area or where there is minimum noise. Make sure that the place is, relatively clean, so that you don't have disturbances from mosquitoes and flies and ants and all that. Make sure the place is not foul smelling. If possible, light some agarbatti and make it good smell. So all those preparations, these are all given. In the Bhagavad Gita, you have shlokas like Samam Kaya Shirogrivam Dharayan Achalam Sthiraha Sampreksha Nasikagram Swam Dishaschan Avalokayan. That is how to hold your body in posture and all that. Then before that you had Shuchau Deshe Pratisthapya Tiramasanam Atmanaha Natyuchitam Natinicham Chailajana Kushottaram. So from there the instructions begin in the 6th chapter. So Krishna says you choose a place which is solid. It is not something that will keep moving. So you sit in a solid, proper position, steady posture, and make sure that your seat is also comfortable. and then your environment is comfortable. So all those conditions you create before you sit in meditation, and then you control your sense organs, you hold them back, you make them, don't allow them to be distracted, and that is swasthane viniveshya. Then nischala tanuhu. Nischala tanuhu means don't move here and there. You have to keep your body straight, and typically when you sit on the floor, maybe in Padmasanam, maybe not in Padmasanam, one of the things you have to, take care is that your spinal cord is really vertical, and your head, neck, and spinal cord are in a straight vertical line. That is when you can sit for a long time without developing backache or neck ache and all that. The moment you slant slightly backward or forward, the spinal cord starts getting twisting moment. If you are a mechanical engineer, you will understand what I'm saying. So there is something called a bending moment. As long as your body is erect and vertical, the bending moment on the spinal cord is minimal. So you can sit in that posture for a much longer time. If you are bending forward or backward, then there is a bending moment on your spinal cord which starts creating back pain. So these are all things that have to be really taken care of. That is nischala tanuhu. Then upekshya dehasthitim. This means that at least for the time of meditation, it could be 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever time you devote, don't worry about your body or anything related to the body. Just relax, mentally relax, and drop all your worries. Because normally we are very good at meditating on our worries. Okay, one worry you start thinking about, and then that leads to a train of worries. They're all interconnected. So even if one worry comes into your mind during meditation, that completely disturbs the meditation. So one has to make sure that the mind is free from all the worries, whatever possible worries you might have. It could be about your health, it could be about your security tomorrow, it may be about some appointment you have in the evening, whatever. Keep everything out, and for that moment or for that duration of meditation, just focus on the meditating activity. Think of Brahman, Brahman, Brahman alone. And what is the meditative thought that you have to entertain comes in the third line. Brahmatmaikyam upetya. So it is, as I said, it is not that there is some Brahman somewhere which is Nitya Mukta, Shuddha Buddha and all that. It is to say that Brahman and Atma are one and the same. They are not different. So that means Aham Muktaha, Aham Shuddhaha, Aham Nityaha. So I am eternal, I am pure, I am Purnaha, I am complete, I have nothing to, koi kami nahi hai. I am complete, Aham Purnaha. There is nothing missing from me. So all those thoughts have to be invoked. Brahmatmaikyam upetya tanmayataya. And that is a key word. Tanmayataya means you get so absorbed in that meditation that the distinction between the meditator and the meditated disappears completely. There is no, that akhanda vritya, akhanda vritya is that, the thought which does not have a division between the meditator and the meditated. Initially when the meditation starts, you will see that I am, you will feel that I am the meditator and there is an object of meditation. That division will be there. But the more and more you get absorbed in the meditation process, your focus, complete focus is on the object of meditation, and you will completely forget your own existence. That is the tanmayataya, and that is the that is also the definition of akhanda vritti. That is also the definition of Nirvikalpa Samadhi. So if you're able to achieve that state of meditation, then you have achieved the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, which is also called Akhanda Vrittya, Akhanda Vritti. Then Anisham. Anisham means, actually, Anisham means frequently or continuously. You can take it, whichever way suits you. If you are talking about continuously, then that means for the duration of meditation, don't give a break. If it is translated as frequently, it means try to meditate as often as possible, at least once a day, maybe twice a day if possible, and do it without any break. That is Anisham. And what happens if you do all that? Brahmananda rasam piba. This is actually a very poetic thing, because rasam means juice. So don't expect that you will get some kind of a juicy experience when you meditate. No, that's not the thing. The word rasam here means pure and without any other mixture. That means you get that pure joy, pure and uninterrupted or unmitigated joy of that Brahma Jnana Phalam. So that is the Brahma Ananda Rasam. Brahman is Satyam Jnanam Anantam. And I've always said that Anantam is translated as Anandam. Because when you are Anantam, you are limitless. And when you are limitless, you encompass everything. And when you have everything, you feel full. And that is Ananda. So that is how you have to connect the Anantam and Anandam. So Brahmananda Rasam Piba means you enjoy this meditative state. Muda. Muda means happily. Okay, there is another reading called Mudha. That is the fourth dha. If it is Mudha, then it has to be connected to the next part of the shloka. Shunyaihi kim anyaihi bhrisham. Okay, so Brahmananda Rasam Pibatmani Muda means happily enjoy that meditative bliss. Bliss within quotes. If it is Mudha, Shunyaihi kim anyaihi bhrisham means, what is the point in indulging in all other worldly activities which is of no use? That Mudha, the fourth dha, means wastefully, without any use, uselessly. Yeah. So drop all other worldly activities and focus on this. That is the shloka, more or less. I'll stop here, and if there is any question, we can discuss.
If it's okay, I can ask one small question, sir.
Yes,
here.
ma'am. Yeah.
So in the Samadhi state, we had Savikalpa and Nirvikalpa. Savikalpa had Nirvikalpa. Savikalpa was telling about some kind of a sadhana, because we also have some Laukika thing. So we take time for some sadhana. And in Nirvikalpa, without any sadhana, it has to automatically sink in that.
No.
What,
wait. What is the sadhana you're talking about? The whole thing
meditation.
is a sadhana.
Also, sitting, taking time separately and thinking about Brahman, etc. These kind of sadhanas, like maybe Parayana, maybe meditation, yoga.
No. I think, see, you are mixing up two things. The Savikalpa and Nirvikalpa are both states of meditation. Okay. In this, when you start meditating, let's say you want to meditate for 20 minutes. Okay. You make all the preparations and sit down and close your eyes. The first few minutes, your meditation is a conscious process with some effort. And in those few minutes, you still have a kind of a division mentally that I am meditating on Brahman. So that I am and Brahman as a meditated object, that division is there. But that is Savikalpa. But then as you progress into your 15th and 20th minute, assuming you have been totally absorbed in meditation, that division between the meditator and the meditated thing vanishes.
Okay.
And you become totally absorbed. You forget about yourself also. That is Nirvikalpa.
No duality when singularity. Okay. So somewhere I had this this thought maybe from the earlier teaching, I'm not sure, because we were talking about sadhana, and in Savikalpa there was a sadhana specified, because because that was like okay, you guys, you were saying like this, we are not directly into Nirvikalpa yet, because this is normally a very high state. For example, like Taimana or Soumya or somebody very high state, and we should first prepare ourselves for the Savikalpa. So what is Savikalpa? We saw in the earlier classes was like for people like us who are also in the Laukika and also who are trying for Brahmanyana. So we take time separately for some kind of sadhana. And in Nirvikalpa, it happens automatically without any sadhana. Like somewhere, am I right? Or
I think you somewhere you got some idea about sadhana. See, everything is a sadhana. If you do karma yoga, that's a sadhana. If you do chanting, japam, that is a sadhana. Okay, even if you go to temple and do pradakshinam, that is sadhana. Okay, everything is a spiritual sadhana. So sitting in meditation is also a sadhana. Okay, so what I was saying is, Nirvikalpa Samadhi, first of all, is not compulsory. Second, even if you try very hard, it may or may not happen. Okay, so even if you manage to do Savikalpa Samadhi meditation, that is good enough. Okay, that's what I was saying. So in this distinction between Savikalpa Samadhi and Nirvikalpa Samadhi, there is no role played by sadhana at all, because both of them are sadhana.
Okay, got you. So here duality. Okay. The person who does, and the subject and the object remains, and there we kind of merge. Only singularity appears. Is that okay, sir? Can I?
That is Nirvikalpa. When there is singularity, that is Nirvikalpa.
Right. So, but okay. So it means some kind of sadhana appears there also. Maybe this meditation, what you're talking about. Okay, got you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Right. Okay. Anybody else? Any questions, doubts, or can we move on to the 379? No one?
Yes, sir. I have one question.
Yeah.
It might be very silly, or the question from the initial stage, because I am there. How would you know that you enter into that dhyan or you got a nap?
Okay. How will I know that I got into
How
that?
will
What?
you know that you enter into a dhyan or you got a nap, quick nap?
That is something only you can decide, because in dhyanam, there is every possibility that you can fall asleep. I'm not denying that. Okay, so you have to be very alert, and you have to make sure that you somehow know you are not sleeping. I don't think anybody else can help you there.
Sir, sleep in sleep, after you wake up, you actually will say, I did not know anything. That is actually sleep, but the Sakshi Bhavam remains. So that is where you can, I think, I don't know, I'm just trying to
you are right.
approach.
No, you are right, but assuming that the person actually got into a Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Okay. Assuming the person actually got into Nirvikalpa Samadhi, during that Samadhi, this person is totally absorbed in that dhyanam, and during that meditation, the person really cannot know anything about his state of the mind. Only when he comes out of the Samadhi, then it is up to him to decide whether it was sleep or something else.
But the awareness remains, right, sir?
Yeah. So in sleep, you actually have a complete blank.
Right. That's what I want.
Whereas in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, you will not have a complete blank. You will have an active thought process. Right. See, that is the difference between the Vedantic meditation that we are discussing here and the yogic meditation that the Ashtanga Yoga people ask you to follow. Because in the yogic meditation, which is the Patanjali Yoga, the objective is to blank out your mind. Okay, there you are supposed to completely stop every thought process. Nothing should be there. It should be a blank mind. In that state, it is very difficult to say whether you slept or you meditated.
True.
Okay, but we are not talking about a Patanjali yoga, Ashtanga meditation. We are talking about a Vedantic meditation where you must, by definition, have a thought process repeatedly coming in your mind. So, if that thought process has been successfully going on for 15-20 minutes, then I'm sure you must be able to recognize I was not asleep, I was actually meditating. That should be possible for you to say.
Yes, sir. I was trying to come to this edge by defining what is probably. Yeah, right, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so for my additional work, ma'am, can you confirm that you got your answer, or should I give some more explanation?
This is something I have read, or got this answer from many places, but practically I'm still not able to differentiate between when I sit for meditation or dhyan. Sometimes I'm not
Okay.
able to understand what happened.
Okay, but what kind of meditation do you practice? Is it the Ashtanga yoga, blanking your mind, or is it some active mantra japa that you do?
I do a active mantra nam jap.
Okay. So if that is the case, then you actually have to know whether you are doing a japa or not. Okay. Anyway, so you please try next time you are in meditation, you please try to find out. Yeah. But it is a little difficult. I do agree that it's, if you are so absorbed in your meditation, you can come to some kind of a confused state. What happened? Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Can we move on to 379? Yeah. Okay. Anatma chintanam tyaktva
Anatma
Anatma Chintanam
kashmalam dukkha
Kashmalam Dukkha
Karanam
Karanam
chintayatmanam ananda
Chintayatmanam
Chintayatmanam
Ananda
rupam yan mukti karanam.
Rupam Yan Mukti
Karanam.
Karanam.
Anatma chintanam tyaktva kashmalam dukkha karanam chintayatmanam ananda rupam yan mukti karanam. So this is the same idea given in a shorter version of the sloka. Basically, during meditation, you have to completely avoid or eliminate all thoughts around anatma. Anatma is anything from the body onwards, from the body mind complex onwards, to all your relatives, friends, other relationships, your social status, bank balance, property, everything. All of that is anatma. So your thought process should not be around any anatma. If at all you think you can think of anatma, you have to think that it is mithya. Anatma is mithya. It is worthless. That is something you can think of. But better to repeatedly say the teachings you heard about Atma. So, Anatma Chintanam Tyaktva Kashmalam Dukkha Karanam. So, why should you avoid Anatma Chintanam? It is because it is Kashmalam. Kashmalam means actually something very dirty. Kashmalam means actually dirt itself. Why is it dirt? It is Dukkha Karanam, because it is the cause of one's sorrow. All Anatma related transactions eventually carry some form of sorrow or pain in hidden form. So anatma chintanam is dukkha karanam, so please avoid. And chintaya atmanam ananda rupam, think about the atma, which is brahman, which is mukti karanam, and because of mukti karanam it is ananda rupam. So it represents happiness, because ultimately Atma Chintanam leads to liberation. Mukti is liberation. So Atma Chintanam is what takes you towards liberation. So that eventually gives you Ananda, which is permanent joy, permanent happiness, permanent security, whatever you can think of. So Chintaya Atmanam Ananda Rupam Yen Mukti Karanam. It is actually your gateway to liberation. Okay, so very shortly, that is 379. Okay, I don't think I need to offer more explanation. Can we go on to 380?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Esha Swayam Jyotihi
एष स्वयं
Esha
ज्योतिः
Swayam
Jyotihi
Ashesha Sakshi
अशेष
Ashesha
साक्षी
Sakshi
Vijnana Kosho
Vijnana
Vijnana
Kosho
Kosho
Vilasatyajasram.
Vilasatya
विलसत्यजस्रम्
Okay, I would prefer the Vijnana Koshe, which is the other alternate reading. Vijnana Koshe Vilasatyajasram.
Vijnana Koshe Vijnana Koshe Vilasatya Jasram
जस्रम्
Vilasati Ajasram.
Vilasati Ajasram
अजस्रम्
Lakshyam Vidhayainam
Lakshyam
लक्ष्यं
Vidhayanam
विधायैनं
Asadvilakshanam
Asad
तद्विलक्षणम्
Vilakshyanam
Akhandavritya
Akhanda Vidya
अखण्डवृत्त्या
Atmatayanubhavaya.
आत्मतयानुभावय
एष स्वयं ज्योतिरशेष साक्षी विज्ञानकोशे विलसत्यजस्रं लक्ष्यं विधायैनमसद्विलक्षणम् अखण्डवृत्त्यात्मतयानुभावय. This is also the same idea how to conduct the samadhi abhyasa meditation using some other concepts or some other angle of view, point of view. Okay, so in the 378 second line, or no, third line, it said Brahmatmaikyam upetya tanmayataya. So that Brahmatmaikyam upetya tanmayataya, how to do it is the explanation in this shloka. So you can say Esha Swayam Jyotihi. Swayam Jyotihi means that which is self-effulgent. And what is self-effulgent? Self-effulgent means that which can shine on its own, which in simple terms means it can say I exist without a third or second entity, required to illuminate it. The example we always give is when there is some kind of an object in darkness. Let's say you are entering a dark room, and then there are many objects in the dark room. You will not be able to see what object is where until you shine a light on that object. So the objects in darkness require a light to be recognized. But let's say you enter a room and there is one small lamp glowing in the middle of the room. Then that lamp doesn't require another lamp to reveal itself. The lamp reveals itself. So that is Swayam Jyoti. Like that, our consciousness is automatically telling you, I am there, I am there, I am there. You don't need a second consciousness to tell that you are conscious. That is really the meaning of Swayam Jyoti. Swayam Jyoti means you can claim to be there without the help of any second entity. In practical terms, let's say you're in a very crowded place and then you're looking for somebody you know. Okay, then you can't find. Then you ask somebody, can you find, whether Rama has come or Krishna has come? So to know somebody else, you need to look and find out. But if somebody is asking, are you there? You don't have to look around. You can say, yes, I am there, because you are self-expressive, self-revealing. So that is Swayam Jyoti. So consciousness is self-revealing. And I told long back in one of the earlier sessions that in Vedanta, the word light is defined in a particular way. Light is that entity in whose presence things are known. I'll repeat. Light, L-I-G-H-T, light, Prakashaha, is that entity in whose presence things are known. And then I said, physical light is there, then, Agni is a light, then stars are light. And then I said, word is a light, because you can instruct a person to know certain things. And then the sense organs are also light, because in the presence of sense organs only, you know whether there is a smell or whether there's a sound or something. And if you keep progressing in that direction, ultimately, your consciousness is a light, because without consciousness, all these other lights are useless. So ultimate light is consciousness. So that's why in Gita you have a few shlokas where it says Jyotisham api tad jyotihi. Jyotisham jyotihi is a word, expression used in Upanishad. It's a light of all lights. Jyotisham jyotihi means it is a light of all lights. So Swayam Jyoti means that which can reveal itself. And it is Ashesha Sakshi. Ashesha Sakshi means Sarva Sakshi. Sakshi means witness. It is a witness of everything. Consciousness is the witness of everything. Vijnana Koshe Vilasati. Vijnana Kosha is your Ahankara or the Vijnana Maya Kosha. That Vijnana Maya Kosha is where you can perceive the consciousness in your body. When you are thinking, the mind is able to think because it is completely, shall we say, enabled by the consciousness. So Vijnana Koshe Vilasati means it is not that consciousness is available only in Vijnana Kosha, but it is available for our perception in the Vijnana Kosha by way of thinking. Okay, Vilasati Ajasram. Ajasram means all the time. All the time. So from the time you wake up in the morning to the time you go to bed at night, you are witnessing everything non-stop. Okay, and all the time that consciousness is enlightening your thinking brain, thinking mind. And that is actually very beautifully captured in the Gayatri mantra also. Tat savitur varenyam bhargo devasya dhimahi dhiyo yona prachodayat. That dhiyo yona prachodayat means that which stimulates and activates my mind. Dhi. The word dhi means the mind, the intellect. Prachodayat means to activate. Dhiyo yona prachodayat means that consciousness which is enabling the sun to shine is that same consciousness that illumines and activates my mind also. That is the Gayatri mantra. So that is the Vijnana Koshe Vilasati Ajasram. Then third line, Lakshyam Vidhaya Enam Asadvilakshanam. So Lakshyam Vidhaya means by focusing on this Lakshyam, object of meditation, this Brahman, which is our object of meditation, by focusing on that Lakshyam Vidhaya means Lakshyam here you can say it means two things. Either you can say it is the object of meditation, which is your Lakshyam, or your own focus. That is also Lakshyam. Vidhaya means to offer. So Lakshyam Vidhaya means you focus your attention on the Dheya Vastu Brahman, which is Asad Vilakshanam. Now Asad Vilakshanam, Enam Asad Vilakshanam. So here you can say Asad refers to Anatma. Asad refers to Anatma. Normally we say Sadasad Vilakshanam, but that's in a different context. So here consciousness is used only to differentiate it from Asad Vastu, which we have to now translate as Anatma Vastu. So here you have to understand Asad as Anatma. Asad Vilakshanam. Vilakshana means different from. So different from Anatma is Atma. Akhanda Vritya. Akhanda Vritya, as I said in the previous shloka, it is to entertain the thought that I am not different from Brahman. So Khandam means division. Akhandam means without any division. So the division can mean the division between me and Brahman, or if you are in the Nirvikalpa Samadhi state, it is the difference that has vanished, the difference between the meditator and the meditating object, that vanishes. So that is Akhanda Vritya Atmataya Anubhavaya. Atmataya means you own up that you are Brahman. So again, it is not some Brahman sitting somewhere that you are meditating upon. It is my true nature. By owning up the true nature, you are accepting that, that Brahman and I are one and the same. Atmataya, you own up. And in that state, you experience that jnana phalam. It is the benefit of this knowledge. So this is the peace and tranquility and security that one gets to enjoy by performing this meditation as often as possible. That is 380. Okay. Many of these verses you might think it's all the same idea getting repeated again and again. As I said, it is being repeated because this is a very subtle topic and not so easy to understand. So by repeating the teaching, the Acharya hopes that we ultimately comprehend the teaching and internalize it and make it strong inside our mind. That is the whole idea. Okay. So any questions on 380?
Sir, sorry to disturb you. I lost in this word Vijnana Kosha Vilasati.
Vijnana Koshe Vilasati. Vijnana Kosham is
Vijnana Koshe.
Vilasati means to shine, to be available. Okay. So what's your question?
The question is, so why are we referring here to the Vijnana? You said that it is a thinking part of the mind. So through the thinking part of the mind, I perceive my consciousness.
See, you can also say, if I pinch myself, I'm able to feel that I am there. That's also possible. Okay. But to pinch yourself, you need to take some effort of getting the finger and, bringing it onto some part and pinching. That takes some effort. But to recognize consciousness in your mind, you don't have to move a finger. It is automatically available to you. You can say, I am consciousness. No?
Yeah.
So in English, they have this saying, I think, therefore I am. Have you heard this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah? If you are a student of philosophy in the Western philosophy, I think this is one of the first things they teach you. I think, therefore I am. Actually, it is an absurd statement, because even if you don't think, you still exist. So you when you think, you exist. But even when you don't think, you do exist. Okay. But what I'm trying to say is, your consciousness, of course, your consciousness is available all through your body. You will in all your waking moment, you feel that consciousness. But the easiest place to find the consciousness is your thought. When you are awake and thinking, that mind is the place where you recognize your consciousness. That's why it is Vijnana Koshe.
Okay, sir. So I was actually thinking that I am playing the Sakshi Bhavam and I am observing the mind.
Yes.
I was thinking from inside thought. So when I observe the mind, so the mind can be like the thinking mind will be Vijnana Maya Kosha, and the mind that feeds me some info can be Chitta, something like that. That may be different, but I am actually seeing the play of the mind. But
Okay.
to see me, you're telling that I have to use my buddhi tattva. Am I right, sir?
No. See, the moment you say I am witnessing my mind, you are already in the PhD class. Okay. But this
Okay.
Vijnana Koshe Velasati is for people who are still in the undergraduate level.
Oh, okay, sir. I'm not there, but I understand what you're telling. Right, sir.
Yeah, because the moment you are able to say I'm witnessing my mind, then you have crossed the stage of Vijnana Koshe Velasati. The Vijnana
Right,
Koshe Velasati is for the people who are not so comfortable about the consciousness, nature of consciousness and all that. So
Oh,
it's an undergraduate lesson, but you are at the PhD level, so you don't have to worry about it.
okay, sir. Okay, sir. Sorry, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Can we go to 381? Okay. 381. Etam acchinnaya vrittya
Etam acchinnaya vrittya
pratyayantara shunyaya
pratyayantara shunyaya
ullekhayan vijaniyat
ullekhayan vijaniyat
swaswarupataya sphutam.
स्वस्वरूपतया स्फुटम्
एतम अच्छिन्नया वृत्त्या प्रत्ययान्तर शून्यया उल्लेखयन् विजानीयात् स्वस्वरूपतया स्फुटम्. So this is also a description of the meditative state. So acchinnaya vrittya. Achinna means unbroken. Vritti is a thought. Etam acchinnaya vrittya means by meditating upon this Brahman through a chain of, unbroken chain of thoughts, pratyayantara shunyaya. Pratyayantara means different thoughts. There is a Brahman related thought and a non-Brahman related thought. I gave this definition also in one of the earlier classes. Vijatiya pratyaya anantarita sajatiya pratyaya pravaha. That was the definition. So Vijatiya means different thought. Sajatiya means similar thoughts. Different means dissimilar thoughts. So when you are meditating upon Brahman, all Brahman related thoughts are similar thoughts, so Sajatiya vritti. And anything other than Brahman thought is a Vijatiya vritti, which is dissimilar thought. So this meditation is described as a chain of similar thoughts without being broken by any dissimilar thought. So the dissimilar thought is pratyaya antara pratyaya. Antara means different. Pratyantara shunyaya means absence of dissimilar thought. And I also gave the example again. When you pour oil or ghee, liquid ghee, or any viscous liquid from one vessel to another, that oil or viscous liquid flows like one continuous, string without even a bubble. You cannot see that when you pour water from one vessel to another. That won't happen because water breaks in between. So you can see a lot of gaps in that water flow. But when you pour oil or molten ghee from one vessel to another, that is called dhara. The dhara means it's a steady flow. Okay, so that is the example we give for how a successful meditation happens. It is one flow of similar thoughts without being interrupted by any dissimilar thought. That is the pratyayantara shunyaya. Then ullekhayan vijaniyat swaswarupataya sputam. Swaswarupataya means again by owning up this Brahman as one's own true nature. Ullekhayan means by emphasizing by, what can I say? Lekhanam means to write. Ullekhanam is to evoke. So Ullekhanam is to evoke this reminder that I am not talking about, I am not meditating about some Brahman somewhere, but I am meditating upon my own true nature, which is Brahman nature. That is the Swaswarupataya Sphutam. Sphutam means very clearly, without any iota of doubt. Doubt-free knowledge. So, to do successful Nididhyasanam, Mananam is a very important prerequisite, because in Mananam only you remove all the questions and doubts that you may have about this teaching. So, if you still have some doubt about me being Brahman, then in meditation only the questions will come. Who knows? My guru says so, but is it really true? All those things will come. Only when you are completely convinced about the teaching that yes, my true nature is none other than Brahman, that is when the meditation will become successful. Vijaniyat means, again, it is not to know as an object. Normally, Vijaniyat means you know, K-N-O-W. But here the word Vijaniyat is not to know as an object, but to understand, to own up the teaching and to say that I am not different from Brahman. Okay, again, this is a dhyana swarupam, I would say. How exactly the meditation pans out. That is the description in this 381. Okay. Any questions? Can we do one more shloka? 382. Can we?
Yes.
Yes, Vasudevanji.
Right. 382. Atratmatvam
Atratmatvam
Atmatvam
dridhikurvan
dridhikurvan
ahamadishu santyajan.
ahamadishu
Santyajan
Udasinataya teshu
Udasinataya
Udasinatayateshu
tishthet sputaghatadivat.
Nishtet
Tishthet Sputaghatadivat.
Atratmatvam dridhikurvan ahamadishu santyajan udasinataya teshu tishthet sputaghatadivat. There is also an alternate reading, tishthet ghatapatadivat. Both meanings, both readings are okay. So, atra means here, and here means in this meditative state. In this meditative state, as described in the previous 3 or 4 shlokas. You can connect all of them. Atmatvam dridhikurvan. Atmatvam dridhikurvan means to dridhikurvan is to solidify, to make very strong. What else can I say? Dridham means something which is strong. Dridhikurvan means to make strong, strengthen, to solidify. Atmatvam is the ownership, one's own true nature. So by owning up one's true nature as Brahman through this meditative process, aham adishu santyajan, that atmatvam you have to repeat for aham adishu santyajan. So on the one side, you have to strengthen your atmatvam on Brahman nature, and on the other side, you have to weaken or eliminate your atmatvam on ahamadishu, means ahankara and the other 4 koshas. So you have to remember, we talk about pancha kosha, annamaya kosha, pranamaya kosha, manomaya kosha, vijnanamaya kosha, and even anandamaya kosha. So ahamadishu means all the 5 koshas. Santyajan is to give up. So don't own up yourself as the body or mind, but own up yourself as the consciousness which is Brahman. And udasinataya teshu tishthet. So teshu here means ahamadishu kosheshu. So all the pancha koshas, you develop udasinataya. Udasina is indifference. Indifference is to develop a certain distance, to objectify your body. That is, you witness your body, you witness your mind. And once you witness something, it becomes something distant. It is no longer you. So witnessing your body and witnessing your mind is a good exercise to develop that distance, emotional distance between your body mind complex and your true nature. And tishthet means to remain in that state of mind. Phuta gatadivat. So the example Acharya gives here is, let's say you are looking at a pot. You don't get confused that you are the pot. You are very clear that the pot is something else and you are something else. And that pata ghatadivat also, pata means a piece of cloth. So when you look at a piece of cloth, or when you look at a pot, or when you look at any object outside, you don't have any confusion that I'm that pot or I'm that cloth. You don't develop that thought. Exactly the same way you have to develop that this body is not me, this mind is not me. So that the thought process in your mind when you experience your body mind should be exactly like how you would think of some third object. And that is the way to slowly start owning up your true nature as consciousness, and to detach that emotional connection to your body mind complex. So that is the hint Acharya is giving in this sloka. How the meditation also in parallel kind of develops a certain udasinam. Udasinam is indifference actually. In some languages the word udasinam is used as an insult or slighting. But in Sanskrit, that udasinam is not insulting or slighting. It is just to develop a distance and indifference. Whether something good happens or bad happens, you are not affected emotionally. That is udasina. Okay. So that was 382. We can stop here for today because we have reached our time. Any questions? We can talk for a couple of minutes, but no more shlokas.
This shloka 381, sir, you actually gave us the Vedanta meditation last December. Like you were explaining about Taila Dhara meditation, where you keep the continuous thought on Mahavakyams. And you were telling that there the difference between the other meditation technique and Vedanta meditation technique is here you actually meditate on the Nirguna Brahman.
Yeah.
And I was also asking in a bridge, what is a bridge through which you do? Then you said you own up this Mahavakyams, like Aham Brahmasmi also. So I kind of remember that you were talking last year, December.
Yeah. True.
Yes.
Thanks for recollecting. Great. Okay.
Thank you.
So can we then chant our closing prayers? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu Sarvepi Sukhinas Santu Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So please close the recording. Just take a minute after this.